All right, here we go.
What are we cooking? Garlic? Smells good.
It does smell good. I smell the garlic. All right, let's see if we have... Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bray. I'm seeing if we have any questions. Hi, Amber. Are you out there? Let's see. I'm going to try and go to my posts and see if anybody actually posted any questions. All right, I'm not seeing anybody or any questions thus far. So if you don't mind submitting them, that would be great. I'd be happy to answer them, but I'll tell you what's going on with the donkeys. I guess it's known that my little Flossie girl is becoming a bit of a princess and a little bit demanding, I should say. And she's a donkey, she's a little girl, and she is looking for attention and snacks, but she also doesn't want anybody to come near me. So she's kind of exhibiting these behaviors. Like she even, it was so funny in the stall the other day. I brought her in, and I was just going to bring her in alone, and before I had a chance to close everything off, Mo comes in, and then Romeo comes in, and Flossie's ears go back, and she charged Mo. And Mo basically backed down and said, okay, have it your way, Flossie. So that's a kind of a crazy thing for a little donkey to do to a big old mule, but she did. And all right, I'm on the page. If anybody has any questions, feel free. Romeo is doing really, really great. I think Romeo knows that Romeo is small, and so Romeo does definitely. Romeo is a mini horse, for those that don't know. I found that some of my friends watched my last and first issue of the Bray, and they didn't understand a lot of it because they aren't familiar with the animal. So I'm going to try and be more explaining of all the things that go on around here and who everybody is. So you're hearing puppies too. They're freaking adorable. And so Romeo knows Romeo is small, and it's kind of like your first day in prison where you come in and beat up the toughest one in the joint, and then you have cred. So Romeo's calmed down considerably. And really, really super sweet. Loves to be pet, loves to be brushed. Also is getting, I think, calmer with the donkeys, and the donkeys are getting calmer with Romeo because Romeo looks like another version of Butterscotch. And so when Romeo showed up on the stand, everybody darted. Everybody kind of scattered. They were like, oh no, it's just a darker Butterscotch. Well, it's not a darker Butterscotch. It's sweet little Romeo. Romeo is not intact, which makes a difference as well. Let's see. I'm going to read over some comments real quickly. Bear with me. Still rough with the other donkeys? No. Last night there were some shenanigans between Skipper and Terrence. Is that just normal male donkey behavior, or was Terrence telling Skipper, back off, these are my gals? I didn't see it, so I can't exactly comment, but there's been a lot of horseplay, shall we say, amongst the donkeys, and that is perfectly normal. No blood drawn, so there wasn't any real aggression. If there was real aggression, you would know it, because it wouldn't be pretty. They would rear up in the front. There would be a lot of things that you're not seeing. Them jumping on each other, and even you'll see them nipping at the mane, at the crest. Normal. It's all normal stuff, and it's all play, and it's also part of their dynamic, part of their vie for dominance as well. But yeah, there's no real shenanigans that I'm aware of. But then again, I didn't see it. But they seem to get along really, really well. And there is a hierarchy. They seem to work it out on their own. And sometimes it changes. Like you'll see somebody being buddies with somebody one day that wasn't the day before, which I find sometimes surprising. Oh, the guinea hen story. So the guinea hens, the chickens have the guinea hen area. Then there's another area with the rooster and a couple of chickens. And then there's another area that's more open that has a rooster and some chickens. And then there's 2 chickens over here. Well, the guineas now have a rooster in with them. Somebody needed to get rid of a rooster, so of course we have it. One of the guineas got out, and it was one of the youngsters. And it got up on the roof, and we tarped the roof so we could let them out now and they wouldn't fly off. Because I guess they're too young. It's not really they're not really established enough. I don't know anything about guineas, chickens, anything. This is just what I was told. So one of the guineas got out, was on the roof. So Haley, the day before yesterday, was trying to get it out and couldn't make it happen. So she and I removed a portion of the tarp, flapped it back, put the guineas in, and put mealworm, like a trail of mealworm, put it on the roof, mealworm everywhere, trying to get this brilliant, guinea off of the roof and back in with where it belonged. We were at it for an hour, and we finally gave up and said, you know, it could literally jump in with the chickens, it could jump into the guinea area, but it just wasn't very bright. So we left it with the tarp, and today when I showed up, Wade, the new gentleman who's working in the barn, super nice guy, very efficient, he does a great job, and he asks a lot of questions, which I like. I said, so did the guinea hen find its way off of the roof? And he goes, well, is one supposed to be in with the chickens? And I was like, of course it's not. No, it's not. So anyway, the chickens and the guineas and everybody are all worked out. But it was a little ridiculous. And that guinea was having a panic attack, an absolute fit. And I could hear it all day while I'm working with the donkeys, so I felt really badly for it. And let me see. I'm going to see if there's any other questions real quick. Well, Okie Dokies has a lot of questions that you're hesitant to ask. I say ask away. If I can't answer them, I can't answer them, but if I can, I will. And if I can make up a really clever answer, I'll wink. I know Skipper is a rescue. Any idea how old he might be? Youngish. Do you think... I don't know what DH is. Oh, Donkey Hill. Hello. I definitely see a difference with Skipper's leg. Skipper is a young gelded male. He had 1 testicle, so he's geldish, and he has a tendon, like a strife issue, something that's tight, that tightens, and you'll see him walking, and it'll get really tight, and he can't move it, and it'll take a few strides, and then it'll work its way out. And so since I started taking him walks on the hills, when he's just in the paddock, I don't see him stiffening up anymore. So you can definitely tell there's a little bit of a difference with that back leg. I can't remember which leg it is, but he is doing much, much better. But now that we're on the story of walking on Donkey Hill with Skipper, okay, the other day, I'm walking Skipper, and Flossie says, I'll join you. Why not? I like to go where you go. And I said, please come. And so Harley said, well, if Flossie's going, I'm going too. So I do the perimeter around the fence where it's really hilly. Like I try to do the hilliest spots for Skipper. And so I'm leading the pack. They're following at their leisure pace. And all of a sudden I hear somebody coming up on me a little bit quickly. And I turn and look, and there's Flossie, ears straight back, coming to play. And I immediately said, no. So she runs over to Skipper, jumps on him, runs over to Harley, jumps on Mom in a very playful manner. It's all very play-oriented. It's like there was a discussion yesterday about ear position. Hi, Bentley. Ear position having something to do with their mood, but it can be circumstantial too, because they will put their ears back when they're playing. So you can't always say that that's a sign of aggression. It's also play, but you have to look at the whole environment around them that's occurring for you to really determine. I can tell, like, when Mo is standing and just eating hay and all of a sudden Mo's ears go back, I know that somebody is approaching and she's about ready to exert some dominance. I can tell by her body language. It's not just the ears, it's all of it. Head position. And somebody was saying that Clover is in heat. Clover's not in heat. And the way that you can tell if a donkey is in heat is they chomp. And they keep their head really low. Now, there was some posturing that somebody captured, but that hasn't continued. So that might have just been her eating a snack. I don't know. No, it doesn't appear that anybody's in heat right now. Let's see if there's any other questions. Fred's doing great. Fred is so sweet. And I'm going to tell you a secret, and I don't want you to tell anybody. But I want to harness train Flossie because she needs to be. I need to start disciplining her because she's getting too big to be my playful companion. She could hurt me. So I need to halter her and start doing some more training where I'm playing a more dominant role than I have been before. But Fred, I thought, well, Fred's about the same age. I should go ahead and start haltering Fred too. But Fred has evaded capture by not being able to be haltered. And so selfishly, if I don't halter train him, maybe he'll stay. That's selfish. I'll halter train them both, and they both need to. Let me see. Bobita has asked if I have done any research and reading on the donkeys. Oh my gosh, have I ever. As I said in the last Bray, if you didn't get to see that, this is my first go-round with donkeys. I'm a great dog trainer. The personal dogs that I've had. Am I service dog project ready to take on a bunch of Great Danes? No. That's not my job. That's not what I want to do. Nor am I qualified. But when my own dogs that I've had, they've always done tricks. They've always been very mindful. They've always been very good off leash. I've always been very good at training dogs. So my whole approach with donkeys has been, all right, let's try this like I did with dogs. And you see what works and you see what doesn't. And then at night, I'm going to nerdishly admit that I watch YouTube videos and I read books and I read anything that I can find about donkey training, donkey behavior, donkey. I'm a little obsessed right now, donkey obsessed. I don't apologize for that. But yeah, I do. I read everything I can. And even like Becky and I were having a conversation. I can't remember what her CP name is. She's one of the camera operators. She's very sweet and she has 20 plus years of horse experience. And she helps me out a lot too. We have conversations about what works and what doesn't work. And she and I both have a very gentle approach where a lot of things that you read about donkey training says to use whips or use kind of force that I'm not willing to do because that's not my nature. I'm more one to really reward great behavior. And a cold shoulder to a donkey is a cold shoulder to a dog. They don't like it. They want to be in your good graces. So that is discipline enough at this stage of the game. Carlene thinks I need to be more forceful, and maybe it'll resort to that at some point, but I'm not going to try that yet. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and keep learning as I go and keep seeking out more knowledge. Does Fred see Harley and Flossie is his family. Last night he tried nursing on Poppy. Aww. When Fred first got here, he was like 3 months old, and he didn't attempt to really nurse on Harley, which I'm surprised. And I wish he had. I don't think he sees them in his family in a way that we see people as our family, but he definitely has a connection with Flossie, I think because I've spent a lot of time with them individually locked up in the stalls, and so they got used to each other really quickly. But that's so, it kind of makes me sad that he's trying to nurse still. He's such a sweet, sweet boy. I really asked Santa to keep Curly and Fred, and Curly's gone, so Santa, if you're listening, I'd really like Fred to stay. You all seem to be super knowledgeable about the STP dogs. No, I'm not at all knowledgeable about STP dogs. So I have a curiosity to test you with. Last night during... Oh, this is not... Yeah, this is nothing that has anything to do with anything that I know. I know nothing about the dogs. I know that I can go pet the dogs, and I spend a lot of time with Walter because I love Walter, and he gets little massages from me. There's plenty of dogs that that I spend time with, but of course not like I do with. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. I'm not good at that. I'll be back. Okay, so sorry, Heidi. I'm not going to answer your question because I don't have any answers for that. No halter training for... That's right, Kathy. And Kathy, thank you for the gift. That was super sweet of you to send me a gift. I'm very touched. You know, that was the only Christmas gift I got this year. And that's fabulous. Do they go into heat during a certain time? It just seems that they foal in the spring, which is why I ask. I don't know, Jody. I really don't know their time frame. Haley and I were reading yesterday when they can go in heat for the first time, and I think, believe it or not, it was 3 years. So Flossie has a ways to go before she'll actually be able to, and I guess like 3 years before she could actually have a baby, according to what we read anyway. Let me see if there's any more questions. No halter training for Fred. I'm with you. I love that. I wonder how old Skipper is. Skipper actually lives in foster care at one of Janine's neighbors' homes, but because it's a completely flat terrain, that's why we brought Skipper here just for a short period of time, because this woman loves Skipper, and Skipper is a love. He's a really, really sweet donkey, and so I don't know how long he'll be here, but he definitely is making improvements. And that's our Flossie. Yeah, it is. So I don't see any more questions. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's going on that I can tell you. Yeah, Josie has a wonky, like, watery eye, so we're going to try and find some ophthalmology type of something to put in it, because I don't know if she scratched it or what, but her eye is very, very watery, so I feel badly for her. So we're going to try and get that fixed up for poor Josie. But Josie's shy. I don't know why. Josie has shy. Oh, that's funny. Who am I friends with? Talkeetna at Delta. Talkeetna just said that she has a cousin that works for Delta, and she's on my friends list. I have a lot of people on my friends list that I don't really know well, but I hope I do. Pockets will be 3 in May, so not ready yet. Poppy is a few months younger. Now, I don't know, has yeah, I don't know. I guess Pockets will definitely know. If you haven't seen a donkey in heat, there's no mistaking it when you do. It's very odd. They do this chew thing where their mouth just keeps going and going with their head positioned low, and you'll see them approach males, even gelded males, when they're in heat. So I haven't seen that behavior, so we'll see. Let's see, there's more comments. I have no idea, Kathy, if Josie's eye is a blockage. It's watering crazily, so it could be that she scratched it or something like that as well. I really don't know what's going on with her eye. We kind of mentioned it to Janine and Carlene, so I'm passing the torch on to them. Flossie may have learned some aggressive behavior from her mommy. Actually, Flossie's mommy, Harley, is not aggressive at all. Maybe she was when she first got here, and that was probably because she was pregnant. But Harley is super sweet. There's no aggression coming from Harley at all. And Flossie, I wouldn't say she's aggressive. I think it's again that, like, a certain amount of dominance to position yourself in the herd. You have your pecking order, but I think I made some mistakes with her by playing with her, because now she thinks I'm her playmate as opposed to a dominant figure in her life. So we'll work on it. I think haltering her is going to make a big difference. That's my hope. I don't see any more questions, and I can't think of anything else that's really going on of interest. Monica is still doing Thursday, Fridays, and like every other Saturday. Hi! And she's doing a great job. Jessica is here every other Saturday, Jackie here Mondays, and we're definitely a team. We communicate with each other via email if there's anything special that we need to know, because we never see each other. It's funny, we just kind of pass the torch from day to day. I show up the next day, and whatever they left, they left. So it's kind of funny that we work really well together, and yet we never ever see each other.
I don't think I've ever met Jessica.
You've never met Jessica?
I might have, like,
you did.
Right at the beginning.
She came during Dog Fest. She's really pretty. She has dark, like, straight hair. We all have dark hair. No, Monica has blonde hair. Mm-hmm. But she's super, super sweet. But she's only here every other Saturday. She was here during Dog Fest, and she left her drink, her water bottle. Do you remember? Forever. And I finally had to write on the whiteboard.
Yeah, I remember her water bottle.
And yeah, she's super, super, super nice. Yeah, she doesn't have a lot of time, though. I wish she came more. Hey, you guys, Haley's here. Any questions for Haley while we're at it? Flossie is opinionated as all. Flossie, I just think, has become attached, and she's become a teenager. And she is protective of me, and she wants to monopolize me, which is flattering and bad all at the same time. So I'm not going to encourage it. I'm going to discipline her for it.
Well, that kid was, the kid and her mom went in the stall earlier, and apparently Flossie was being a little attitude-y. So I think she's just turning into a spoiled, rotten girl.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work on Flossie. She needs to, it's tricky because nobody really, other than me, nobody's really tried training the donkeys, and it's really my mission to train donkeys. I thought I would start with Flossie because she's young. I met her when she was a baby. And so I thought, this is the one that is going to teach me how to train. And so it's tricky. You know, I'm learning as I go. She's learning as I learn. And once I kind of get some basics with an animal that doesn't intimidate me when they're angered, because she's little enough that I was kind of like, I can definitely defend myself against her. But now she's getting bigger, and so once I learn better training skills, She's learned back up. She's learned no. She still does her twirling thing. She will nip at your sleeve, which is bad. We've got that I'm working on. But really, she's a good girl, and she's sweet, and I love her. And I just maybe taught some bad behaviors. And so I have to now teach her better behaviors. I'll own it. Puppies!
What are you doing?
And did you have any questions?
Did I have any questions for you?
Any questions that you might want to address? Flossie is feisty, always has been. When Rosie was there, they would tag team their badness.
Oh, I miss Rosie.
Rosie was cute. I never met Rosie, but she had the craziest bangs. I mean, Flossie did too, but they were really, really super cute. And thank you, Amber. I love talking donkey stuff, and I would talk all day if you let me. But I'm going to stop. It's 3:30, and I'm going to go home and get ready for my horrible trip tomorrow. I go to Cancun and back. Yeah, it's not fun. I'm there 40 minutes, and we turn around and come back. And I'm not enjoying the leisure travel crowd. I worked Christmas Eve and I worked Christmas Day doing both of those trips. I leave the house at 5 in the morning. And I get back around 9 at night, and I did them back to back, and then I was here on that Wednesday, which is why I couldn't come in and do the Bray. I was exhausted. I went home and like fell asleep for an hour, and when I woke up at 2 o'clock, I was like, somebody hit me with a bus, and there was no way I could even make my way back here. So I'm doing that tomorrow, and I'm not excited. But the rest of my month is pretty darn good, and I'm excited for it. I'm working not as much, working high time trips, so my days are very productive. So I work less days for more money. That's the key in this job, is to work the least amount of days for the most amount of money. If you didn't catch it, I'm a flight attendant, if you didn't hear that in previous. Oh, thank you, Kalias. She does have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with her, little Miss Flossie, but I do blame myself. But I'm learning as I go. I'm not going to hate myself for it. I'm just going to figure, okay, that's a learning curve. But thanks so much, everybody. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Thank you for all your support, your questions, and let's do it again next Wednesday.